Welcome back to your favorite fake news channel. Let's get right into what just happened. Not just happened, it happened yesterday or something like that. I'm a little late to the party, but I got a lot of info to talk about. So this picture was posted by the president himself. The issue with this is that his hand is glowing and he's putting his hand on this person's forehead, which is beaming with light. And he's wearing this like robe and outfit that resembles one-to-one Jesus. Jesus, he's putting himself as Jesus doing this. So that's a problem. That's a problem. One thing I didn't know is that back when the Pope died, I don't know what day exactly, but it seems like within the same week, within a few days, right, posted days before the Catholic cardinals are set to begin a conclave to elect the next pope. So when the Pope died, he posted him as the Pope. I didn't know this happened. I wasn't in the loop back then, right? So this is very reminiscent of what just went on yesterday. Like, this is insane. How disrespectful is it to do this? The Pope dies, and then bro puts himself as the Pope. An AI generated picture. So stupid, gang. But this is a cherry on top of the stupidity going on right here, right? I think in his eyes, there are people who genuinely see him as a savior. So even though he can put himself out here like this and then say it's just a Red Cross worker, which is what he said, we'll get into that in a second. He can say this, and a lot of people will never even see him say that. They're just going to see this and they're going to stick to their beliefs that he's the savior. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? So it's basically like, if people think that I'm white and I make a picture of me saying I'm a different race, then I can be like, no, I'm just joking with that picture. And then people are still going to be like, I don't know. That's not a good analogy. I'm sorry. I'm not going to restart the video. That was actually stupid. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm bringing races in here. You know what I'm talking about. It's just basically, he's reinforcing these pre-beliefs that people already have about him, where that even if he says that wasn't my true intention, the beliefs are still reinforced. That's the best way to put it. I'm not going to do an analogy there. I'm sorry about that. I wasn't trying to bring race up, but yeah, so let's watch the video. It's right up here.
Mr. President, did you post that picture of yourself depicted as Jesus Christ?
Well, it wasn't depicted. It was me. I did post it, and I thought it was me as a doctor, and it had to do with Red Cross, as a Red Cross worker there, which we support. And only the fake news could come up with that one. So I just heard about it, and I said, how did they come up with that? It's supposed to be me as a doctor, making people better. And
So I have been to the doctor a few times in my life, right? A pretty penny of an amount. I've also seen family members in the doctors. I've seen people that are sick in the same rooms as my family members at the doctors, okay? At the hospital or whatever, right? I have never seen a nurse or a doctor practitioner, no one in the hospital building or the doctor building have a glowing hand when healing a patient, or put their hand on their forehead to heal the patient and have beams of light come out of it. I don't know if you've seen that, but I haven't even seen that in movies. This is clearly not a doctor, right? Call me crazy, but that's not what's going on here. If we go back here, we got a lot of people agreeing, right? We have, Red Cross uniform. Because that's what they wear. Yeah, because they wear long flowy robes with beacons of light and hope on their hands. yeah, I'm your nail tech. Yeah. This is my cat. She can fly. Get it? Because it's like not one. Me as a veterinarian, right? So this is like funny because it's like, yeah, me and my lifeguard duty. See, yo, that's funny. I wore when I graduated from school. Me walking the dogs today. Like, bro, this is actually really funny. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, but you get the point. That is insane, dude. I don't know, like, so I always try to think about, like, who does this benefit? You know what I mean? Because obviously just because the president's the head figure house of the United States, he's not the one in charge. He's not the ones running things. It's the rich people that pull all the strings and stuff. So I'm trying to think, like, do they really benefit from all this? Or is this literally, like, I'd love to know how deep this goes. I know I never will, but how deep do you really think this goes? Do you think Trump himself, individually, with no other voices in his ears, right? No one telling him to do this, he just does that? Because I don't believe it. You know what I mean? I feel like it's gotta be some type of, like, play. Maybe I'm just, like, thinking that, like, you gotta be smart to even be in this type of position. Like, maybe it truly is just, like, dumb. And it could just be that. But I'm really trying to look for some type of ulterior motive. You know, like, who is it really benefiting? But maybe it's no one. Maybe he's just doing it for fun, for poops and giggles. You know what I mean? For just, like, going crazy. Just because he can, I guess. I don't really know. But I looked through this whole article, and there's not really anything crazy besides, like, this one was funny because JD Vance so this was back when the Pope thing was going on, and he says, as a general rule, I'm fine with people telling jokes and not fine with people starting stupid wars that kill thousands of countrymen. That was last year, guys. He's not a fan of stupid wars that kill thousands of countrymen. Just so you know. Just so you know where they stand on that whole war thing. But he said he'd like to be Pope. It's so stupid. Dude, only the fake news could come up with that one. Like, who's coming up with what? You're telling me someone looked at this and was like, you know what? Let's come up with something. No! They used their eyes and said, yo, that kind of looks like, you know, Jesus? I don't know. It's like, it's insane to me, bro. It is insane. And what does make me really sad, like I was trying to say earlier, is that there are people out there who literally think he is Jesus. Like, literally. Like no joke. No funniness. They legitimately believe that in their hearts, in their soul. So it's sad to me that stuff like this furthers that narrative that they already believe. You know what I mean? Like, and there's nothing we can do to have them not think that. Like, my neighbor right now could think that bro is the second coming of Christ, and there's nothing I can do about it. I just got to be like, okay, I guess so. You know, you're free to believe that, I guess, but like, holy damn. Like, wow. Right? And it's the type of thing, too. Like, I be going on bike rides all the time, and there are houses that have Trump flags in front of them still. And I always be thinking, like, wow, do they know what's going on? Do they have freaking eyes, ears, a brain, any of the three? You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy to me that he can still do stuff like this, and people are just like, yeah, let me support you, you know? Like, it's one thing to have, like, a dictator that no one likes, right? Like Kim Jong-un or something like that. Like Hitler. I don't know. A lot of that could be propaganda. Maybe they weren't actually that bad. But you know what I mean? Like, it's one thing to have someone who's in control that no one likes, but they're forcing their way to be in control. But it's another thing to have someone in control be so terrible, be so evil, and people still stick up for bro, right? So I don't know, bro. I'm out of words on this one. This is the type of thing that will leave me in shock. I don't even know how I talked about it for this long. It's crazy. But let me know how you feel down and below. Do you think this was disrespectful? Do you think this was insane? Like, this is supposed to be his group. The conservative Christians is supposed to be like his people. And he's out here doing this. But I guess, like, they wouldn't even see that as disrespectful because they see him as the second coming of Christ. So if they already see him as that, then I guess they wouldn't be offended by this. So I guess, he gets away with it. I don't know. Tell me how you feel down below. This could be a discussion for another video too. Let me know something else I should talk about if you're interested. If you do like how I talk, like the video and subscribe to be more likely to shown videos like this in the future. And then listen to Blakey on all platforms. Blakey. Listen to Blakey on all platforms. Blakey. Spotify, Apple Music, Blakey, Pandora, Blakey. Amazon Prime.